heap treasures to yourself for the last days. But it says the just shall put it on. All right. He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? He shall not take pleasure in his goods. So you're not going to enjoy this earth, man, because hey, the Lord's about the scripture says you're going to be chased out of the world, man. Because he says you shall not see the rivers, the floods, the brooks of honey and butter. Because hey, riches is not comely for a niggard, man. Right. You're a fucking miser, right? Right? There is none worse than he that is evil, who envieth himself, and this is the recompense of his wickedness. And if he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly, and at the last he will declare his wickedness. That to back up the Saint Benji, man, the elderman Saint Benji. Hey, now he's about to show those horns, man. See, at the last he's gonna declare his wickedness. Okay. I was the guy behind them. What is it, Toto?
Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, Wizard of Oz. Yeah. Don't let no one pay attention to the man behind the curtain. Okay, now he's a man. Now he's being exposed as the man behind the curtain. Now he has to go back to that sword. You know.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
He's going to go back to the sword. You can see that in that with the creation of ice. All right, with all the and now all this, and then only that the administrations of people in power now are moving against Trump for impeachment. As if that's going to change anything. No, the more Trump stays in there, the faster it collapses. All right? And if they do move for impeachment, that's just going to make the purge thing happen that much faster.
All right?
I got a precept. This is Nahum 3:1. It says, woe to the bloody city. It is full of lies and robbery, the prey the part of night. So yeah, man, this place about to go into a Mortal Kombat for real. This is about to be Armageddon. Yeah. You about to see a lot of people going crazy and wilding out and doing fatalities on each other because it's about to get nasty out here because of this party. He never departed. He's been a bloody man. He's been a robber and a liar from the beginning.
And a pedo.
Hey, Dick Sang Son just recently died, didn't he?
Yeah.
It has begun.
Yeah, it's about to get crazy. It says the noise of a whip and the noise of the rattling of wheels and of the prancing horses and the jumping of chariots. So you about to see a lot of this going down, man. The military vehicles. You about to see tanks rolling down these streets, man. It's about to get crazy out here, man. And then, the robots. AI.
I ain't chatbots out here.
I got a scripture.
Yeah. We walked past one last night. That ran out of power when the cold stuck on the sidewalk.
Hey, look, man. It's about to be crazy out here, man. People are not paying attention to what's being said. We've been warning y'all and letting y'all know that this devil is trying to push martial law for the longest.
Matter of fact, now that you said that, I'm looking at a headline: Trump loses control as Congress ignites Article 2, Section 4 removal crisis. So it's some sort of article, I think in Article 25, and they're trying to remove him. Now, there were people who said, oh, well, that's not true. It's not happening. But it turns out that it actually is happening. Developing news. No, not that one. What is it? I was just on it. Think MAGA thinks, what the fuck? It disappeared, man. I had it. Oh, yeah. Sunday, as impeachment fear grows and polls crash. All right. So they got these impeachment fears are making the polls crash, is also making the market go crazy. Okay. So for those people who came against it and said that post wasn't true, turns out that it was true. And now you got to watch that, because sometimes we'll look up something up and they'll say, no, that's not true. And it turns out it is true. All right. That once again, they're trying to control the narrative. Let's see if I can.
Having a devastating Sunday morning. His minions like MAGA Mike Johnson are out there, this Turning Point USA event, saying that, look, we're going to face impeachment of Donald Trump unless something changes. If Democrats take control, they're going to impeach this guy for all that he's doing. Oh, don't threaten us with a good time, MAGA Mike. Here's what MAGA Mike just said moments ago. Let's play this clip. But if we lose the House majority, the radical left, as you've already heard, is going to impeach President Trump. They're going to create absolute chaos. We cannot let that happen. And let's talk about some of the devastating news Donald Trump got this morning.
And see,
Can
the
you
chaos is coming regardless. All right? Because they're trying to see if the left does it, it's going to bring the chaos. If Trump stays in office, it's going to bring the chaos.
Period.
There's no way to get around what's about to happen, man. It's just like the guy, the title of the video, that this thing is at our door. All right, it's literally knocking on the door. The collapse of the dollar and the collapse of this society.
This is Revelation 12:12. Therefore rejoice ye heaven, and ye that dwell in them. Woe unto the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. So this is, we looking at these last days. Hey, as they say, you can see the light come. You can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and all these things. And in the process, this Edomite, you go turn up. You got to turn up.
Well, because he sees it,
right.
And so he's trying to. He's now. See, that's beautiful because the Lord is forcing his hand. Anytime you rush to do something, you're going to make mistakes.
Yep.
Is there understanding in Timon? No. The Lord is disappointed him in every single way, and he's causing his enemies to come against him too. He that laid it.
That's why that last shooting event that took place in a particular small country.
Mm-hmm.
That's over there near
Down
Tasmania.
Yeah.
It's over near Tasmania. That's why that thing has kind of been dead. They haven't really been talking about it because once again, like you said, they rushed it and it was extremely sloppy.
Mm-hmm.
But they still pushing
and everybody now they're pushing the agenda, but they're not showing it and they're not really talking about it.
Right.
But the agenda went for it, but they're no longer really like. Do you know how they kept the videos playing and as they talk, make it a talk point? They're not because that was so pathetic and so sloppy, and it obviously made no sense. Why would these men choose to go to a country that actually sided with Israel and then attack Israelis?
Right. Sided with the Palestinians.
I mean, Salakia, they sided with the Palestinians. Salakia. Yeah, I said it backwards. But why would a country go to why would attackers go to a country that sided with Muslims and attack anybody in that particular country? You would think that they would go to a country that was completely against the Palestinians. Right. And for the Israelis and attack there, right? And then they keep trying to put off these latest attacks that Trump been doing on ISIS. Okay. They've been talking. There was some crazy bombing supposedly went on, and they had blew up a bunch of stuff, a bunch of ISIS people. But the thing is that why would you attack ISIS? ISIS never attacks anything American or Israeli. Right. For them to be such a big threat. They only seem to attack other Muslims and Muslim nations that American and Israelis happen to be against most of the time. Yeah. So I'm trying, right? So it's like, wait a minute, you keep talking about the threat of ISIS, but ISIS doesn't attack it. They're in the middle of the Gulf War, in the middle of all the shit that's been happening over there in Western Asia, in Syria. ISIS never once attacked any Israeli settlement or nothing. It's like they were always in tune with the Syrians and Iranians somehow.
Yeah. It's almost
it seems like ISIS should be your homies. Yeah. You should be trying to secret.
It's almost like some tiny tops, took a suntan and grew their beard out and dressed up a little bit like Arabs. Maybe.
Well, maybe possibly. So this is a damn what was the event that took place in the when they burn the tea, when they burn the ships.
Oh yeah,
So this a bunch of white guys that dressed up like natives, and burned a couple ships and shit.
Just like like the movie.
Yeah, damn that you mean they wouldn't still try that type of thing. Right. They wouldn't try to pull that same card again, would they?
No, nothing new under the sun.
Nothing new.
I got something. This is Habakkuk 2, and I'm gonna start with verse 5. Yea, also because he transgresses by wine, he's a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Should not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increases that which is not his. How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. The word thick clay is the Hebrew word ibatyat, all right? And the Hebrew word ibatyat means and says this. The weight of pledges, heavy debts. Something pledged, collectively pawned goods, thick clay, which is heavy debts. So now, if you go read this in the Amplified, it says, will all these victims of his greed not take up a taunting song against him and in mocking derision against him, saying, woe, judgment is coming to him who increases that which is not his. How long will he possess it? And woe to him who makes himself wealthy with loans. And everything.
Damn.
Yeah.
Loans with usury.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the Amplified in there. There's no joke right there. It's that thick clay, the loans,
With loans.
them just fake money. You sit there and print more money. And then
Contractual law.
Yep.
And then they set it up where they can put you under contractual law without you ever even signing a contract.
that's right.
You know, they call that one, you know, one of those is called Title 4D child support. You've never signed a contract, but yet you're under a contract.
That's it.
All right, that's contractual law. That is illegal, but you know, they're really good at doing things illegal and making it okay. And just kind of skipping past, you know, things done under the color of law.
That's right.
Now, and another thing that they're really good at is they're really good at playing the victim and the victim villain. And these particular people love to project what they're gonna do by saying someone else is gonna do it.
Yep.
All right, because they're constantly because I you know when you watch like certain movies, and the historical pieces that really happened. When most people retaliate, they don't announce they're gonna retaliate.
Oh no.
But what these people like to do, these orchestrated wag the dog people,
Events.
is they do a retaliation with the letter and a picture and a record. You know, everybody that retaliates has a manifest and a I'm mad. You know, and take pictures of themselves. You know, pictures of them with all their weapons. You know, they just have a manifest, right? The number and address to all their partners and where they happen to be,
Right.
and then leave it in a nice pile.
Well, the plane
with a
blew
couple,
up,
with a
but
couple.
the passport, it happened to flutter down.
Look, steel, concrete, turned to
Melted.
dust.
But this passport flew out the plane and floated down to the ground. No fire, no smoke, no nothing.
Wow. Look what I have here. I mean, I know it's comical. It really is comical when you think about it, man. And this is the narrative that they push, and the most of dumbass Americans still believe it to this day.
That was the
even though-
Lord. That was special.
Hey, no future left. It was an
So I'm like, damn.
immaculate crash.
Well, then they just need to make cars out of whatever they make their passport out of.
Man.
All right. But here, I'm going to play this one real quick. And throw out to my beloved April O'Neil. Appreciate you. Because these are hot. Here we go.
It's coming out in the last 24 hours as we've heard the warnings of potential attacks on U.S. soil. Iran vows retaliation and
I'm going to retaliate and attack you back. Sign. Picture. You know? I know, man.
It was me.
hearing that their nuclear capabilities, they are still right there. And we're hearing the warnings coming out, this along with Russia as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at the latest headlines so that way you can see it for yourself. Now, coming out in the last 24 hours, Trump doubles down on the claim that Iran's strike completely destroyed the nuclear sites. Now, the reason for this is because we are now hearing, take a look at this, U.S. strikes destroyed only one of the three Iranian nuclear sites, according to NBC News reports. We're now hearing that they are saying that only one of the three were destroyed, that Iran still has a lot of its capabilities. Now, in addition to this, we also heard just a couple days ago, I shared with you as soon as it had come out, Iran was making nuclear threats against the United States, warning us of the sleeper cells that are here, of dirty bombs and potential attacks taking place on U.S. military bases in the Middle East. We're going to be getting into the details of this as we also saw a speech come out from Iran's supreme leader threatening directly the United States. Here's another article that came out. Iran's supreme leader issues those threats. And also take a look. We're going to breaking news.
So that being the point, man, it really gets taxing, and it's just, everybody wants to threaten, but what these people in this country like to do, they're constantly talking about someone doing something to them and attacking them, and what they never talk about is the actions that we take against these places, and they're ready to camera for retaliation and reaction. A lot of times when any Edomite is being a victim of anything, is usually, and then just quite honestly, it's a retaliation against an act that they did. All right, but they'll play it like they're just this innocent victim. The well, I never, bitch. Well, I never. Yes, bitch, you did. Right?
That's what Cain murdered his brother, and then when it got brought to his attention in judgment, he said, "This is too much to bear."
He turned into a bitch nigga. Bring it out.
This is Zechariah 11 and verse 5. Who possess the slaves and hold themselves not guilty, and they that sell them say, "Blessed be the Lord, for I am rich."
The scripture says there's a time when one ruleth over another to his own hurt. Okay, it's the same song with the song of Lamech. When he was singing, he said he gathered his wives around. He said, "I've slain a man to my hurts, to my own hurting." Listen, man, it was scripture says, "He that touches you touches the apple of his eye," man. So you gotta pay. You gotta pay, man. You gotta pay, bro. Numbers 35 and 33. You should not pollute the land where ye are. For blood it defiled the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. And you shed the blood of the sons of God all the way from the time of Cain, man. So you got to pay for all that.
A long time ago.
Oh, yeah, let it go. Well, the Lord required with that which is past, man. Oh, man. You talking about your GDP and all these debts that you owe and shit. And we're going into that too. But you have a blood debt that only the Lord knows how that looks.
See, that Esau, but that's part of Esau's slickery. It's a long time ago when it's your shit. Yeah. But then when it's his shit, we will never forget. Yeah, so that's part of his narrative. That's part of his bullshit. And he's like the elder said, he's a perfect victim villain. Yeah. He plays victim anytime he can play it. And outside of that, he's definitely villain 100% behind the closed door.
And that's and they're just some little sport kids, man.
Yeah.
Esau Edom. I was out there servicing my client, last weekend, and she's a ish, and she got her two little kids, and her son has got to be the biggest bitch nigga. Oh my God, this kid really needs a man in his life, and he, man, I'm telling you, man. And the baby, the younger one, because I think she's like 3, she's just doing her own thing, watching a little cartoon and stuff, and he's 3 years older than her, so. And he's just picking at her, and then she would finally hit him to make her leave him alone, and then he would literally start crying. She hit me, and I'm looking at him. So it's like, no, you just hit the little girl. You're taking the toys from her, and when she starts doing starts retaliating, and it's just like, and that's just the way Esau is, even as an adult. I'm looking at this behavior for him. All right, and then he's crawling on the floor. She had something, and she told him something. And these kids got everything you could imagine, man. Yeah. All right, you man, that's the problem. Absolutely. They got everything you can imagine, but he wanted something. It was some little bitty thing, like some little stickers or something. And so he's literally crawling on the floor the way she can't see them because she's got her back to him. But I'm looking at this little fucker. And he's following this little girl on his all fours, on his all fours, and he's just grabbing her feet, just agitating her. And then when she turned around and kicked him, he literally cried, "Holy hell!" Like she hurt me. And finally I threw it back on him. And so because they were irritating me, so I said, "Hey, aren't you in karate class?" I said, "So big old karate dude like you gonna let that little bitty girl make you cry like that?" Then he, "Oh yeah, Right.
Yeah, I do.
I applied. Yeah, I used the Jedi mind trick on that. All right. I said, you a karate class, man. When your sensei here last time I was here, I met a sensei. And I was like, yeah, so you gonna let that little bitty girl make you cry like that? So he shut his mouth. But the truth is that in that moment, I realized that, especially the little hats, that's their nature, man.
Right.
He was causing all the issues, but yet he was screaming the victim.
Right.
I
got a brief on Job 18:4. It say, he teareth himself in his anger, shall the earth be forsaken for thee, and shall the rock be removed out of his place. Yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine. So no matter, he sound like a little kid, tearing himself into a fix,
Yep.
and doing all that, but guess what's going to happen? The Lord speaking to the point of David, your ass going there. That's right. Now, this is on Zechariah 11:5. Who possesses slay them that hold themselves not guilty, and they that sell them say, blessed be the Lord Yahweh, for I am rich, and their own shepherd people are not. You know, like you were just saying about the little story with the little fuck. You know?
Yeah, that's a good name for him. Little fuck.
Yeah, the little fuck. You know, he holding himself not guilty, but he causing all the damn problems. Like, you tripping, man. You know, like, hey, this is this Esau nature. He always been a big bitch.
I mean, but look at his history. He went to, when we were coming out of the wilderness, we just wanted to come through and come past. He said, we will pay you. We won't even fuck with nothing. We'll be on our P's and Q's. No.
We'll pay
You know what I'm saying? But then he's going to turn around and attack the hinder parts, the hindermost parts. He want to attack the elderly, want to attack the children, attack the maimed and the lame.
That's to test out his new swords.
That's right.
But he didn't want to cross swords with no man.
Oh, he didn't go to the front lines.
Right.
He didn't go to Big Judas.
Right.
He didn't go to Gad. He didn't go to the mighty warriors. He went into, let me go ahead and get the man with the cane. You know what I'm saying? We was canes. You know what I'm saying?
Lord.
This Sirach,
Lord.
this Sirach 27:27. He that worketh mischief, it shall fall upon him, and he shall not know whence it cometh.
That's it.
So right when you think he's fulfilling his plan of bringing up the MOTB, the Lord will rain on him. Right when he kick back and think he's comfortable, that's when the Lord will hit him.
Yeah, when he establishes himself. He said when he's about to fill his belly. So right as he goes to get all this stuff in, this is why we want all this to happen. Let the crash come. You know, stop being a bitch nigga and push the damn button. Make this shit happen.
Hey, Elder, like that mob movie and shit. The guy's fucking eating. He's in a restaurant eating a fucking goddamn some fucking the meatballs and the spaghetti and the pasta. And fucking they come whack his ass right in the restaurant. That's exactly what the Lord is about to do to you.
Yeah, they don't even let him finish his meal. So you don't get to enjoy this.
They fall into a bowl of pasta.
I got James, the 5th chapter, and I want to read it in the AMP. James 5:1 AMP. Come quickly now, you rich who lack true faith and hoard and misuse your resources. Weep and howl over the miseries, the woes, the judgments that are coming upon you.
Man, that's an AMP. Can somebody check if there's a hard copy of that on Amazon real quick?
You know what? I might have one downstairs, but go check for
No, just somebody go on Amazon real quick and just check to see if there's a hard copy of the AMP.
Your wealth has rotted and is ruined, and your fine clothes have become moth-eaten. Your gold and silver are corroded, and their corrosion will be a witness against you and will consume your flesh like fire.
Yeah, because a lot of times, you know, Esau trying to avoid the King James.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he tried to duck and dodge the King James. He cut himself in a lot of these other breakdowns.
Mm-hmm.
He actually proved a lot of scriptures that we were saying were true. The breakdown that we were given were absolutely true.
Yeah.
You know, the things that he was in denial of. Right. You know, the things that, you know, Vocab Malone and other Christianism individuals, you know, apologetics.
It don't mean that.
You know, the pathetics, apologetics came against. You know, the scriptures, when they're written in these other, translations, is cutting them, man. But go ahead, continue.
You have stored up your treasure in the last days when it will do you no good. Look, the wages that you have fraudulently withheld from the laborers who have mowed down your fields are crying out against you for vengeance, and the cries of the harvesters have come to the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth. On the earth you have lived luxuriously and abandoned yourselves to soft living and led a life of one-time pleasure, self-indulgence, self-gratification. You have fattened your hearts in a day of slaughter. You have condemned and have put to death the righteous man. He offers you no resistance. So wait patiently, brothers and sisters.
Yeah. How many times we watched him beat to death the person that was not resistant?
That's right, brother.
Yeah, they lie.
Right. And then lie about it.
It wasn't me.
Right.
That's right.
Or you know, when you think about it, like if you're punching someone in the head, you know, it's a reaction for them to try to cover their head, but because you keep punching it.
Stop resisting.
But yet you want to put my hands and put them in cuffs, but you keep punching my face. You know, it's a human function that you even have no control over.
You're resistant.
Your nervous system is going to make you defend yourself.
You're resistant.
All right, you don't defend yourself just by biting down on your teeth and I'm gonna take it. That's not. No, that's not a human reaction. When something is happening, why do you think that they have something that you call defensive wounds? Like if someone is getting stabbed, they're stabbed through their hands and through their form, because it's a natural reaction to try to defend yourself. So if you're beating someone, all right, and then you want to put handcuffs on them, but you keep punching them in the face, you know, they're going to want to ball up and cover up. Stop resisting, but you keep punching. You understand? All right. Or you got 3-4 men with their knees in your back and in your chest. It's going to be a natural reaction to push so that you can breathe. Dude, I can't stand these piece of shit Edomites, man.
They killed this one Jake on live camera. I guess they had him in a room. There was a bunch of cops there.
Yeah.
You saw that?
Yeah, when they had him, they beat him, basically beat him to death. They've been doing that all along.
Yeah.
I heard the stories before they built that little road back there on 79th that connects to the 92nd Bridge.
Right.
When it was all forest back there, you couldn't just go back there. You needed keys. Guess who had those keys? The cops. And they used to take folks back there and beat them senseless down to death. All right? They used to do it all the time. They would take them back there and beat them. I heard the stories. I never witnessed it. But I have no reason not to believe these guys.
The old Sears warehouse on the west side.
Yeah, they used to take them back, take them in. Yeah, exactly. You know, and they would take them back there and they would beat them. And then they drive them to the police station and they damn near got no pulse. Man, we found them like that. Oh, I guess the Stones got them.
And,
You know?
and for the record, this came out on the news. The one big time chief, and they used to take him to a black site, and they got exposed. You know, I forgot the dude's name, so I was showing him, put him on blast. But he did it for years, and you know they had several, and they came out there that the police had several black sites where they'll take people that was off the record, off behind the scenes, and torture them to get whatever they wanted out of them. Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, it was over there on Holman, over there near in between. It was over there on the west side, right by Humboldt Park.
Yeah,
right between Ephraim and Judah.
That's
where one of them sites was. I kind of remember that.
And I remember I can hear Yak all the time. We talk about it. Well, we might have a case. We might have good. We were innocent. We got proof, and then Esau just moved the goalpost. So go ahead and change the goalpost.
I'm a living example of that.
Yeah.
Why they kept changing, moving the goalposts.
Change the narrative.
I got
Change the rules.
Bring it out, brother.
This is the book of Proverbs chapter 22. And the book of Proverbs chapter 22, verse 22. I'm going to read it in the NLT. It says, don't rob the poor just because you can, or exploit the needy in court. For Yahweh is their defender. He will ruin anyone who ruins them.
Woo!
And so,
That sounds.
they getting it on both sides, man, because say you facing some shit, people with money, what's the first thing they do? Their lawyer is
Lawyer up.
Their lawyer is always a ish. But if you can't afford that high price ish lawyer, if you're ignorant of the law, you can't speak fluent legalese, you're up the river, man.
Yeah.
And legalese is the most hardest language to understand on the planet Earth, man.
even though it has the appearance of being
Even
plain
though it's
English.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
All right.
that's how you know it's purely deceptive, man. All right.
And then and it's got to. So why would you? And so basically, that's what the whole bar thing is about. The British Admiralty Royalty. That's what the bar stands for all these so-called lawyers. You know, they have to master legalese to pass the bar. And what that means is that you can effectively speak in this deceptive language while you're having a normal conversation with me, where what perceives to be, I perceive as an English speaker, to be a normal conversation, but you completely and totally made me condemn myself. All right, or made me say something where now you can start make contractual law to get payments out of it. And then if I can't make those payments, you'll lock me up.
Right.
And then still charge me for the payments later with interest.
Right.
This is the type of people that we're dealing with, man.
And that's on the side of the law. So now you circle it back to the video. They getting it on both sides. They getting free health care, all these dainties on behalf of your tax dollars, and then they will turn around and fuck you over in your own courts of law.
Ain't that something?
It's a fucking two-edged sword.
So like right now they're really getting the substance of the Gentiles. They're really getting Jacob's blessing right now.
Right.
Right? These people have literally taken our place, man. They truly have stolen our identity. And then they've hit, and that's why they hate us so, because we're revealing this truth to the world, and people are starting to see it and understand it now. And mainly because though there were people that were speaking about this, but no one really seemed to care until we started talking about it.
Of course not. This is Deuteronomy 28:49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flies, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. And that tongue that you can't understand is that legalese. In one format, we're speaking straight English. And they say, you understand? Oh, yeah, I understand. But then you go to court and say, you understand? Yes, I understand. That's two different things. Once you went to court and said, I understand, you're understanding them. Standing before them, meaning that you're under them. And they're ruling over you.
What it means is that you're standing under whatever they placed over you.
Yes, exactly.
If you say you understand, if they place specific
charges
or payments over you, by you saying I understand, you're saying that you are now standing under those charges, blah, 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 blah,
So
blah.
you're gonna abide
And
by
now you try to figure out what happened, and next thing you know, the bailiffs is taking you.
Thank you, sir.
Or you right. Or you getting some paperwork to say you got to make payments.
That fucked me up when I learned that.
All right, and that's absolutely true. And most people don't know that. And if now you watch it, now you know. All right, we are really behind enemy's lines under a cruel ruler, a demon, a cruel ruler who not only is cruel and oppressive to us, but he's also taking our heritage and our identity and is claiming to be us. And he's getting benefits from all the nations. These people, you know, they why do you think they want to go over there and settle in all these places over in Western Asia and in North Africa? They want to take all that land and settle because they don't have to do anything. Why? Because all them dumbass Americans and Westerners, all right, are funding their lifestyle. We're literally taking care of them so they can live high on the hog. They're the true welfare kings and queens. Not some fat black woman.
Hey, if they were females, we call them gold diggers.
No kidding. Bring it out, brother.
Ezekiel 36:5.
Started read 2, then jump to 5.
Ezekiel 36:2. Thus said the Lord God, because the enemy have said against you, even the ancient high places are ours in possession.
Right, now you got to read it again with the ish accent.
Ezekiel 36:2. Thus said the Lord God, because the enemy have said against you, even the ancient high places are ours in possession.
Yeah, see, so they're bragging about having the ancient high places in their possession. What's the ancient high place? The ancient high place is the land of Israel. All right, because guess what? The world is going to be governed from there once again. All right, the tabernacle of David will be established out of that land again.
Right.
Okay,
and it won't be no legalese. There won't be no ambiguity when it comes to the laws and the justice system.
Right. It's going to be straight.
Yahweh said, "Your nay be nay, and your yea be yea. Anything else is that proceeded from evil."
Make it plain, make it simple.
Make it plain upon tables, man.
Right.
You know?
Right.
how about Shimei Shai is setting up a kingdom that dwells with righteousness and equity and truth. You know, not deceit and false balances and skullduggery and unrighteous decrees, man. That's why this place is crumbling, and that's why it's fucked up the way it is now.
Hey, it's funny you use that word skullduggery, and the fact that one of their fucking secret societies it's called just that.
Well, it says, "Woe to them whose works are in the dark." In fact, let me grab that real quick. This is Isaiah 29:15. Woe to them that seek deep to hide their counsel from Yahweh, and their works are in the dark, and they say, "Who seeth us, and who knoweth us?" All right. See, Lord is what says his eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the works of men. All right. It says, surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's plate. Or shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not? Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding? All right. And see, everything is going back to its intrinsic value. All right. See, the intrinsic value is its true value. What is it really worth? Everything. Whether it be women, all right, motherfuckers started realizing these bitches ain't shit. All right. Yeah, you know, they're realizing the true worth of things. The American dollar is going to the intrinsic value. At the same time, the Lord's bringing value to his man. Everything is going back to his real value. And in the end, you're going to be revealed to see is this the man, you know, that made the earth to tremble? The world's going to see you for the fucking cave salamander that you are, man. Wow.
Yeah, because I'm gonna do a lesson on that too. What you just made me thinking about it. I actually gathered up the receipts. And I left a lesson about about the wild men, the Vikings, and the trolls. You know, I don't know if you're aware of it, but that troll history is a part of the wild men history. It's something I was watching something that made me Google it and look it up and ask AI. AI was like, absolutely. And so what Esau Edom has done is that he's taken that wild man troll folklore and the wild man thing, and he's twisted it up, and then he threw himself in there and made it the Vikings, right? Because because the Vikings were people of color, they were not pale, all right, and there's evidences of that. So I'm looking forward to doing that lesson. Lord's will, maybe you can do that with them all. But you made me think about it, brother. So it's a lot here. Continue.
Ezekiel 36:5. Therefore, thus said the Lord power, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen and against all Idumean, which have appointed my land into their possession with the joy of all thy heart and the spiteful mind to cast it out for a prey.
Yeah, go ahead and break.
And this is the wild. This is. See, when you read about this, when you go into Job 30, that's that history right there. That's that history. You know, so like, hey, you know, that's who he is, and that's what's being revealed, right? I got something to back you up real quick. It says trolls in Trolls in European folklore, particularly Norse legends, are deeply connected to the idea of wild monsters beings, often sharing traits with the mythical wild man or Jotun, and possibly.
And slow down right there. That's what you get when you. Did anyone see the movie Northman?
Yeah.
When he crawled around on his fours with his son, and they were howling like dogs and stuff, and yet they were the Vikings. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So it was me remembering that, and me watching, and I saw the advertisement for that movie Troll, and then I had just read about that 15th century or 14th century artifact with the Moors. The Israelites were fighting the wild men. And I was like, you know what? This is what they've done. They've taken this wild man shit, and they put the braids, and they put the braids in their head, and then they said, you know, these were the Vikings. And that's exactly what it is.
The image. It's a switcheroo.
They switched right. So to hide the fact that the Vikings, especially speaking of Harold Bluetooth, I did a lesson on it years ago, which meant, you remember that lesson? Harold, and it was Harold Blatan. Blatan literally means black man.
Mhm.
All right, Harold Bluetooth was turned out to Harold Blutan, and a lot of that ancient Norse is really just Hebrew.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I was like, wait a minute, Harold Bluetooth was Blutan, Harold the Black. He was really a so-called, he was a brown man. And then at the same time that I did that lesson, they had found that Nordic caveman dude or whatever. They did that reconstruction of him. And he had the dark brown skin and the braids, and he had blue eyes. But Cheddar Man. So I'm like, damn. So this makes it. These were the Vikings, and what you notice is what they do, where anything that they like when they show you that time frame where they show out these Edomites that will put the blue paint, war paint, and blue on their face.
Right.
That was to cover up the fact that those people were brown. That's where they get the Blatan from.
Yeah.
All right. So the symbol of Bluetooth, that's from Harold Blatan, which is a Viking symbol.
Exactly.
And that's what that's from.
If you look at
And Blatan means great. Harold meant great, and then Blatan meant black man. Just so you know, and I did that lesson years ago.
no, when you look at that cartoon Proud Family, they depict the darkest sisters as
Yeah,
blue
blue,
skin,
yeah.
and they dark brown skin.
I got a little bit more on this.
Go ahead, brother.
It says wild men or Jotun, and possibly even representing ancient memories of Neanderthal.
Yep. Now I don't have to do the lesson no more. I
I
mean, we just kind of threw it in there,
yeah,
right?
yeah. With both inhabiting remote, rugged landscapes, mountains, caves, dark forests, right?
So
among the
while
bushes.
this was going on, while they were cavemen, Jake was living in castles, and there's relics with the history of it proving it.
That's right.
Yep.
All right,
and
he saw us through, man. You found out. When we tell you, you were not the Brits,
Yep.
you were not the Irish,
Right.
you were not the Scots,
That's right.
you were not the Vikings, you were not the Spartans, and you were definitely not the Israelites.
So the fuck
Right?
down, nigga.
Hey, I already told you.
Right. Yeah. He's a phony. He's a big phony.
Right.
I got one more line if I may.
Ooh, this man.
I got one more line if I may.
Go ahead.
And embodying untamed and often hostile nature, eventually becoming a catch-all term for dangerous supernatural entities or Tristanization, where they just trying to make a myth out of them. But no, it was you. What that nigga said in the Vampire in Brooklyn. It was you.
Yeah.
You. That was you. It was you, nigga. All right, you caught, nigga. What it says, thou art found and also caught. See, hey, the scripture said, well, the Lord said, he shall no more be able to hide himself. Man. You got one? Yep.
This is the line back off of you. This is Isaiah 25 to 24 and 7, but I'm starting at 6. And in this mountain is where Yahweh is going to set up, shall Yahweh of hosts make unto all people a feast of fat things, a feast of wines on the leaves of fat things full of marrow, of wines on the leaves well refined. And I will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations.
And I love that particular scripture. It's one of my favorites, man. It's so plain. But I'd like to hear that scripture in the AMP and in the NL2. If someone would read those real quick. No, because on this one, man, the King James hit super hard.
Would you say?
It's telling you it was a covering cast over all people, a veil.
Yeah.
Right? We know what a veil is when you drop like a curtain down in front of someone's face and say the Lord is removing that. And so the Lord's removing that veil that the Vikings were so-called white people. He's removing that veil that the Israelites were so-called white people. He's removed that veil that the people of in Eurasia were so-called white people. They were all melanated people. All right. The pale people that are there now, they're not from there. They're the people who migrated and colonized it and took it over after the fact. Okay.
Isaiah 25 and 7, the AMP. And on this mountain he will destroy the covering that is cast over all peoples, and the veil of death that is woven and spread over all the nations.
Yeah, it hits a little bit hard in the King James. Adding that death in there kind of gives it a new something. Yeah. Yeah, the KJV was king on that one. All right, let me hear it in the NLT. I was just curious. It was similar. Oh, okay. All right, so yeah, so with that one, we'll stick with the King James.
Yeah, that was
You got something? Well, go ahead, read it anyway. Go ahead.
There he will move the cloud of gloom,
Ooh.
the shadow of death that hangs over the earth.
Yeah, but that can be misconstrued.
They could try to.
Someone could say that doesn't mean that he's revealing that we're not the people. But yeah, but the King James hit hard on that one.
It's nowhere elder in Psalms 83 talks about there's coming to make the name of Israel no more. Now the name of Israel is still being talked about on the earth. It's talking about the people. He killed us as a nation and he stole our heritage. And now the Lord is revealing it. Now we're allowed.
Well, that's when we go to Revelation, the first chapter. What is it? It say? The revealing of the Lord. All right, he has to be revealed, and then he turns around and reveals himself. When you get down to like the 13th, 14th, and 15th verse, he revealed himself. Because he reveals himself. What that means is that in this time of his absence, that they've misconstrued and changed his image. All right, and then he turns around in later scriptures. Matter of fact, we'll finish with those. Go ahead and get that Revelation 1 and 15, and so that's all still a part of this ministry is to reveal the truth, and people just don't want to acknowledge. They scream and yell that they're a Christian this and a Christian that, but then when you actually listen to the record that bears witness in the Bible, you don't want to acknowledge that. Matter of fact, you can get that too. Yeah, could you get that one?
Which one?
They believe not the record in John, First John.
I got the Revelation.
So get the Revelation. Get the one of my favorites, which is 4 and 3 about the jasper stones and the sardine stones. Get that one. And someone bring up the images of jasper and sardine stones. I mean, it's like how plain can it get? And then somebody back them up with that. Go to Daniel, the 10th chapter.
In the book of Joshua, E12 brownstone with E12 make false.
Yeah.
You want me to read the Revelation first?
Yeah, get the Revelation, brother.
This Revelation 1. I'm gonna start at 13.
No. Read 1 first.
Oh, 1 first. Got you. Revelation 1 and 1. The revelation of Yahushua HaMashiach.
Okay. Now let's get that word in the Hebrew and get it in the English and also get it in the Etamah, Bamkusha. No, not you. You keep reading the scripture. Somebody else.
Revelation 1 and 1. The revelation of Yahushua HaMashiach, which Yahweh gave unto him to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass.
Right. So he gave a revelation for him to show unto his servants. Why? Because his servants have been given a false image. Why would there even need to be a book of Revelation? The Lord had to come to reveal himself. Wait a minute. If he's been revealed, why does he need to reveal himself? Why? Because they put up this blonde-haired, blue-eyed image of him for hundreds and hundreds of years.
Exactly.
All right. And so now, exactly, Cesare Borgia has been the standard for who the Lord is. Okay. And so, yeah, cheese and rice. Okay. But the Lord told you in the book of Revelation that he's coming to reveal himself. All right. Now jump up to 13. Oh, before you go. Okay, you got it in the Greek and you got it in what?
Dictionary.
That's perfect. Read yours first.
This the word revelation in the freedictionary.com, the act of revealing or disclosing something revealed, especially a dramatic disclosure of something not previously known or realized.
Ooh, something not previously known or realized. The Lord. So what's it? So you've been given this image is sitting up in every Catholic church. I've never seen a Catholic church where there's a brown skin, tawny skin, woolly haired, not even the dreadlock,
And they place
even
sacrilege.
Right. Even swole ass Korean Jesus was still brown.
Bro, Korean Jesus
all right.
Fuck up Cesare all day.
Oh, he was fade.
He was swole.
All right. But go ahead, brother. Well, that's last. Get it in the Greek, then get the Elamite.
This the word revelation in G602. It's apocalypse. It says a disclosure of truth, manifestation.
So come on, ooh, we killing them. I hope you little hats are watching and mad, just pulling your hair out.
Turn off the
Right,
power
the little
again.
hat.
Right.
Yeah, make sure you get them
Okay.
curls. Make sure you get them curls on the side of your face.
All right. And you vocab alone, because you know he be watching.
Connect the heater.
All right.
Dog this piece.
All right, go bring it out, brother.
This is the word revelation in the Edamon, circa 1300 Revelation. It says disclosure of information or knowledge to man by a divine or supernatural agency. So there's no way around that.
Spirit.
So
This is facts from on high.
So why if his image has been here all along, you've been putting this image up, why does he need to disclose and reveal himself and his information? And which is the book that represents his second coming, when he comes at last. All right, jump to verse 13 and 14 now.
This Revelation 1 and 13. It says, in the midst of the seven candlesticks, one like unto
Actually, read verse 7.
This Revelation 1 and 7. It says, behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him. And
This is very important, because he's telling you how he's coming. And he's coming on a cloud, which is what the Bible refers to as vehicles, all right, that travel in the heavens. And here on Earth today, they're calling them UAPs and UFOs.
On a revenge mission.
Okay, on a mission of revenge. You're absolutely right, Pop. Go ahead.
And all kindreds of the earth shall.
Which proves, we use the scripture. This proves a reincarnation. Because what it's saying is that those people who stabbed him, they're going to see him as well. Which means they have to be, here. They have to have been, and they're probably in the military or police officers. They're probably military or they're policemen right now in Babylon. They could be cops too. They could definitely be cops. Some of them got one of these particular alphabet security agencies. But nevertheless, whoever those two pieces of shit are, they're going to see the Lord, and then the Lord is going to give. Imagine those two men. Right. The Lord's going to give them back. He's going to give them back that memory. They're going to be, oh my, they probably going to fall down, have heart attacks. Oh shit, I was there. They're going to see it. They don't shit, I did that shit. My dumb ass.
Right. You don't get away that easy.
Right, exactly.
You get a little simple heart attack.
Right, they're going to have a heart attack. He's going to put his life back in him.
Get your ass up.
Stand up.
Get all
I'm going to make you stand so you can take the ass.
No, you're going to have to catch this.
Now, what was you saying about fuck him? What you said about to get him? Get up.
Every time you try to faint.
Right, you're going to feel all of this, boy. But go ahead, brother.
It says, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail.
So why would the kindreds of the earth cry out and be crying?
Judgment.
And not a happy, oh, the Lord is here. No, they're literally like wailing because the Lord is going to come. And because the nations, the other nations also know that they assisted in our oppression or participated in our oppression or sat quiet and let us be oppressed, knowing who we were. All right.
Can you say revenge?
Okay. Go ahead, brother.
It says,
no, jump straight 13 now.
Okay, gotcha. This Revelation 1 and 13. It said, in the midst of the seven candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with the garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with the golden girdle. His head and his hairs were white like wool.
Yeah, white woolly hair. And I furnished many definitions that showed you of the definition of wool, especially when you go back to the 1800s and things of that nature. It tells you that wool, even going back to the 30s, 40s, 50s, and the earliest 1971, those definitions usually said the curly, tight-knit hair of a Negroid person. All right, that's what wool went under the definition of wool.
Yep.
So that's what it was talking about. All right, because Negroes have what you call, in ignorance, people say nappy, but the technical scientific name for their type of hair is over curly, meaning it's beyond curly. You got curly hair, and then you got over curly hair, and that's what people in their ignorance call nappy. All right, but go ahead.
It said his head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire. and his feet like unto fine brass.
Now I have a hand of a Negro holding some brass right here. Okay. And I know it's like it matches him. He's holding a piece of brass in his hand. Okay. No, he just,
It just looks dusty.
right, it blended in, and right, that's that being the point. He go
That's-
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay.
yeah, that's a man, a so-called Negro, a so-called black man. And you can see he's not black for you dumb fucks out there.
Right.
He's very brown, brassy. All right, and he's holding this chunk of brass in his hand, and it matches perfectly. It's damn Uriah's color, his skin color. As he would say, peanut butter brown or some shit like that.
Honey golden brown.
Get it right, bro. Honey golden brown, but there it is. There it is.
We're not talking about
All right.
the dark.
So he's got this brown. I'm trying to get the light. Get it without the light. There it is. Perfect.
Perfect.
I know.
That's the same.
Man. So
Yeah,
when
yeah.
this is the description that the Lord gives you. Then it says it is as if it burned. Keep reading.
Yep. And I got the picture along with it. It says, as if they burned in a furnace.
Like pops.
Yeah, no, for real. They say burnt brass.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
And I'm seriously though.
Hey, pops.
That's burnt grass. No, we jealous.
Right. He looked like the Lord. Shoot.
Yeah, we jealous. What you mean?
But you know what? I bet your pops ain't never felt the sting of sunburn.
Hey, pops, look over this
I
way.
just get dark.
Talking about some don't touch me.
That's right.
I done had either mics, hey, what's up, buddy?
Right. Don't touch me.
Like, what's up, bro? Fucking burn. Why'd you like
That
that?
way
You
you
put some
got it.
suntan on. Put some lotion on. Stay right. Why you gotta go in the sun like that? You got it. Then I tell somebody, hey, go hit the
That's right. Hard to open hand.
What up, bro? Pow!
Don't touch me.
Don't touch me.
I've got that Daniel
Come,
10 in the amplifier.
go ahead and get it. And Yak, you got that? They believe not the record.
Yes, sir.
We gonna wrap it up with that. But go ahead.
Okay, this is Daniel 10, read verse 6 in the amplifier. His body also was a golden luster like beryl. His face had the appearance of lightning. His eyes were like flaming torches. His arms and his feet like glowing burnished bronze. And the sound of his words were like the noise of a multitude of people of the roaring of the sea.
Wow.
Burnished bronze.
Man, he just
It's the
showed
same
you
color.
that bronze and brass are pretty much the same color.
That's right.
And they call it a bronzer. All right.
Yes.
You ever seen them real pretty chocolate Brazilian women?
Oh my
All right.
God.
They look like they, but that's the actual they skin color. Them dark cinnamon colored brown, the Dominican women. All right.
You got horses of that color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got horses of
Okay.
that color. Expensive horses.
Right. Exactly. That bronzer. Okay. The pale bodybuilders put that bronzer on. Get on stage, be darker than Jake.
That's
Looking
it.
like
Exactly.
they supposed to be black.
Right.
Exactly. They rub this on.
Yeah.
Rub this on.
That's
So
that's exactly what he's talking
yeah,
about.
rub this on so the lights don't drown me out. Great, y'all.
Thing is,
I think we're on
Yeah,
y'all.
we gonna finish with Yak with the record.
All right.
When the elder quit distracting him.
All right. This
Go ahead,
is
brother.
Thank you.
First John chapter 5, verse 10. It says, He that believeth on the Son of the Most High God hath the witness in himself. He that believeth not, the Most High hath made him a liar, because he believeth not on the record that God gave his Son.
So the Most High God, who is Yahweh, left the record of his Son and what he looked like.
Made it
All
plain.
right, and gave you many scriptures, a whole plethora of them, not just a few. All right, and what did Esau Edom do? He either ignored them or he tried to misconstrue them, or he would get to, you know, everything's black, 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 black. But then when it gets to the scriptures in the Bible that refer to the you know, to the tribe of Judah and the Lord being black,
But
you
he ain't
know,
had no color.
all of a sudden, or they'll say that black meant that he was mourning. Anything that his skin did, right? And olives are coming in basically green
and black.
or like this purplish black color.
That's right.
I've never seen you know,
A white
no, they'll say right, but they'll say, oh, he's olive complected. I'm like, so the green one, I ain't seen no green people yet. All right, because I see olives that are right, exactly. They're either green, all right, or they're black, and that's what it is. Hey, look. So we hope that this was edifying. We're going to give all praises, all honor and glory unto
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash,
Kwam Yasharala,
Kwam Yasharala,
Baba Ball.
Turn those machines
Yes, sir.
off.
I just
Go to the
No, you
cellars and
understand.
buy.
Revelation